Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today we are back. We're recording another episode of ReZero. I'm very excited for this. Last episode left off in a very much a way that I'm unsure of what's going to come next. I think, while I was editing the previous episode, I am actually recording this a day after the previous recording, so I'm still wearing for the most part the same clothes and stuff, but I'm recording this the next day after editing. So I noticed that they do mention during that episode that you knock it at a certain point. So Ram herself even alludes to the fact that Subaru has to take off the horn. Subaru himself even alludes to the fact he has to take off the horn, but they don't outright say it. So I was really confused because I thought while I was reading the subtitles that all it took was one good smack anywhere and it would snap her back. But no, I think they're actually alluding to the fact it has to be the horn because Ram doesn't want to see Rem like this, as she said previously in episode 10. Another thing I realized was that Subaru actually goes to say, "I can return by death." I guess I just didn't catch that at all until I was editing, when he is shouting out to Rem to smile, when she's going apeshit, and then she screams, the beasts, the witch fiends scream. So I wonder if whatever it is that's messing with him is kind of also inherently linked to demons. I wonder if demons and the witch there's some sort of history there. There's something that's maybe linking the two. I don't know, but I guess that's where we're at right now. And then that also harks back to previously during episode 10 when Subaru says, "I can return by death," blah, 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 blah. A little bit of time passes, and then we've switched to Rem, who gets a flash. I thought that flash was her sensing that Ram was in danger or something like that, but no, I think she literally sensed what she sensed later on in the episode when Subaru said, "I can return by death." She sensed that. What that means for Rem and Ram, I still don't know. I haven't, put too much thought into what that could mean, but there's something literally linking Rem, demons, with whatever is going on with Subaru and his return by death. So yeah, I think I'm just ready to dive right into this episode now. I don't know what we're going to get. I'm hoping we get some answers because I am so confused about what I should be expecting in this episode, but I'm very excited. So yeah, anyway, let's just dive right into this episode. Here we go, episode number 11. Crazy we've come this far already, but here we go, episode 11, ReZero. Oh, a big blood moon. Flashback? Oh, shit, we're getting a flashback? Twins to the ultimate taboo. Ooh. It's really interesting that... Shit. Oh god, but look at them. It's really interesting that demons look like humans. Oh my god, those horns. Holy shit. That is much more than Ram could ever conjure. Much bigger. Ram protects them? Oh shit. Oh, that's crazy. Yo, Ram, this child is, what, a demon? Isn't that your whole thing? Okay, I need to learn more about Rem and Ram and why they were allowed to live. Oh, we're getting full flashback episode. I love it. That's interesting that it was the complete opposite when they were younger. Ram was cracked. Holy shit. Yeah, seriously. Damn. Ram's got all these unrealistic expectations placed on her. Maybe that's why she cuts off Ram's horn so she doesn't have to live up to those expectations. Or there's probably more, but I'm interested to see. That's pretty good, yeah. Great job. Sissy. Aww. Rem freed Ram from the shackles of expectations, I'm guessing. Oh, you'll be better at all the tasks. Yes, you'll go above and beyond and do double of what is asked of you. Potatoes? Oh shit. Steamed potatoes! You do so much, Ram. Aww. Oh god, what's gonna show up? Oh, the rain's gonna keep it away. That's so sad. Hopefully nothing happens. Oh jeez. No, my nuts. Holy shit. Thank you, Ram. Damn, all the nuts are just... That's so sad. Oh. Delicious. Yay! Aw. Oh, what is this? Like, filter right now? Is this a dream? Mama and Papa? Oh god. Holy shit. Yeah, this has to be a dream. Nightmare. But even still, like, that's so sad that that's how she feels. To be dreaming that, obviously. And that's what they did to Subaru. They held his hand as he was having a bad dream. That's very sweet. That's adorable. Yeah, you don't. Oh shit, Ram's gone. Is she out practicing? Training? Holy shit! Holy shit, Ram's killing everyone! What happened? Holy shit, what? Ah, people came to kill the demons. Holy shit. Are they the last survivors of the demon clan? Jeez. Oh shit! It was one of these assholes. Destroyed the but the smile finally broke off. You don't have to do that anymore. That was not because of you at all. Aww. Who is that? You don't need to atone for anything. You didn't steal shit. Ram, that is not the case. I'm glad she's okay, first of all. I'm just... That flashback was so sad. Jeez. No, you were told not to go into the forest by yourself anymore. Without your sister, because she would worry. You were told that. Oh, jeez. Not at all, Ram. You came out here to save Subaru. That was the complete opposite of it's all your fault. If anything, it's all Subaru's fault for not being stronger. What the hell? Oh god. We got 3 heads right now. So true. Did he get through to her? I suppose we'll find out soon, right? That puppy! Wow, that's the same shot we saw in the previous episode. That's cute. That's cute because of they went to the village alone, and that's what Amelia said. I'll be praying for your safe return. Why do they call them balls? Like just the name balls. Ah shit. The opening coming in, let's go. Holy shit. Oh. Oh god. It's a super beast. What's your ace? Don't look back, he's gonna do something. Yep, let's rock. Have faith. Subaru can do anything. Oh. Oh shit! He's using his shamrock. Let's go. Oh, that's sick. Oh, that's so good. Let's go. Thanks for that, brats. Damn. The boss car. Roswell! Holy shit! What? This episode is crazy. Oh my god. Oh, Roswell. It's good to see you. Oh. All you had to do is follow the scent. He's magic. That's funny. Amelia knew his plan. They did great, right? Oh. Yes! My reaction when Subaru makes it past today. Oh. Are we gonna see a familiar ceiling? Yep. Back in the mansion. We made it! We made it to the next day! Let's go! Aww. It's cute. Oh, because you recall times when Ram would do this for you. Let's go! Roswell's a beast.
呪いの発動の心配はありません。ごめんなさい、スバル君。
Ram's so cute.
頭上げろよ、レム。
For being so stubborn and hard-headed at the beginning of the series.
レムって実は全然冷静でも落ち着いてもないよね。
She's really
分かってはいるんです。
vulnerable and sensitive deep down.
鬼族の落ちこぼれです。だからどうしても姉様に届かない。どうしてレムの方に角が残ってしまったんですか？どうして姉様の方の角が残らなかったん
She
です
didn't
か？
want her horn.
どうして姉様は生まれながらに角を一本しか持っていなかったんですか？
Don't question your existence.
姉様とレムは双子だったんですか？
That's so sad to feel that much guilt for being alive.
別にレムのポジションにラムがいても状
Yeah.
況プラスしてたと思えねえぜ。レムより体力ねえし、料理下手だし、仕事はサボるし、口は悪いし。
違うんです。本当の姉様はもっと角があればそんな評価には。
でもラムにあったらの角はねえよ。角があるとかないとか、多分そんなこと気にしてんのレムの方だけだぜ。
This is
ラ
actually
ムには
true.
ないもんがレムにある。
Ram does not want
そ
her
れ認
horn.
めてこうぜ。レムは優しくて努力家で一生懸命で。
But I think Ram
Munega
does.
Ram yori
Oh my
oki.
god, Subaru, come on. But I think Ram does wish
きっと犬にか
she
じら
could
れ
do
て
more
おら
to
ぶつだ。
protect her sister now.
お前がいたおかげで助かりました。今もこうして生きてます。
Yes, you are
姉様だけ
alive.
じゃなくてお前のおかげだ。
本当の姉様ならもっとうまく。
かもしれない。
That's not the way to think. We survived. We got through
レム
it.
くれたのは
Yeah,
お前だ。
literally. You were the one. That's all that
レムがいてくれ
matters.
てよかったよ。ありがとう。角なくした理由に関しては深く聞いてないし、聞かないからわからねえよ。わからねえからわかったような口を聞かせてもらうとだ。角がないラムの角の代わりをレムがやればいいんだよ。
That's a good
二人で仲
way
良
to
く
think of
鬼っ
it.
てやつをやったらいいじゃん。
Demon in one.
それにな、代替品とか言ってっけど、それこそレムの代わりなんていないぜ。
This is true.
来年の話をすると鬼が笑うっつうんだよ。だか
Yeah.
らさ、笑えよ、レム。しけた面してないで、笑え。笑いながら未来の話をしよう。とりあえずは
We're
明
gonna
日
move
のこと
forward.
からでも。
明日のこと？
Because Subaru will see tomorrow.
なんでもいいぜ。
The same way he's finally seeing today.
明日の朝食はメニューを和食
Oh
にする
shit.
か洋食にするか。靴下は右足から履くか左足から
Gonna
履
make
くか。
beans on
なんて
toast?
くだらないんでもいい。
レムはとっても弱いです。
Don't worry about your strength.
This
It's
guy-
not important.
寄りかかってしまいますよ。
And that's okay, because we got
俺
Shamek.
も弱くて
You know?
頭悪くて目つき悪くて
Scary looking
目
and
ね
dance.
けどそこら辺は周りにフォローを期待しながら他力本願で生きてっからさ。お互いに寄りかかって進めばいいよ。
We'll grow stronger together. We'll fall into our roles together.
明日って未来の話をしよう。
It's very, very
鬼
sweet.
と笑いながら来年の話をすんの。夢
Wow.
だったんだよ。
Talk with a demon and we'll both laugh.
神がかってますね。
だろ
So true. Oh, the smile. That's so sweet. Give her a hug. Oh, that was titled Ram. That was
時に
beautiful.
ラム、あの魔獣たちを操っていた親の目星はついたのかな。
Ooh.
はい。ただ足取りはすでに消えています。バルスとレムが森から連れ帰ったはずの子供が一人、翌日から姿が見えなくなっていると。
また王戦絡みになっちゃうかな。おかしなメンツに絡まれたものだよ。
いるものがどれほど集まろうと、
Dio?
それでくじけるロズワール様ではないでしょう。
あらま、生意気言う
Yeah, cheeky.
おいで、一晩構ってあげられなかったからね。
申し訳ありません。お願いします。
星々の加護あれ。
What is he doing?
これからまた忙しくなる。苦労をかけるけど、ラムもレムもよろしく頼むよ。
子
Was
供
he-
はあの炎の夜からずっとロズワール様のものです。
この度の王戦、何としても勝ち抜かない
I must win this battle for the throne.
私の目的のために。
What is your goal?
竜を殺す。その日のために。
Oh shit, we're gonna kill the dragon, but isn't the dragon like good? It's only been 4 days, but we finally made it.
してるんじゃないんだよ。 ただ世の中が
That's
ちょ
so
っと俺に
cute.
厳しめっていうか。
Don't joke around like that.
私にスバルたちを追いかけさせないようにしようとするし
Puck
どうせ
made
ワ
me
ールが戻って
stop.
こなかったらどうなっていたか分かってる？でもすごくありがとう。
Aww.
おいおい、言っていいって。
She's
俺がやりたくてや
adorable.
っただけの話だし。
何かお礼をしないと。
そっか。じゃあお言葉に甘えよう。俺とデートしよう
Go on a date with me. We're gonna go.
いいと？
We're gonna go see this field and everything. We're finally gonna do it.
同じものを食べて同じことをして同じ思い出を共有するってこと。
ああ
村のガキどもにエミリアタン自慢してえし、花畑とかすげえのあんだよ。ただぼんやり歩いてるだけでも一緒なら俺にとっちゃ特別だし。
分かった。
Yay! We got a
し
date.
てあげる。
I sure hope nothing goes wrong with that date.
それでこそ EMF
What makes you EMF?
ってのはエミリアタンマジフェアリーの略で。
Electromagnetic frequency? Like what? Wow, this might be my favorite episode yet, honestly. This episode was honestly crazy. I loved that they wasted no time in giving us answers regarding Ram and Ram. We got a whole flashback sequence where we learned a lot about them when they were growing up. And obviously a lot of my theorizing was completely wrong because it turned out it was actually Ram that is the reason that they weren't killed on the spot, essentially, because they were born twins. I kind of theorized before during episode 10 that they weren't killed off when we learned that twins are normally killed off because somehow they are important. I thought maybe in terms of the race or the clan of demons, they were important in that sense, but no, it just turns out that Ram sensed Rem's sadness and everything like that and just lashed out almost in that moment and protected her. No, I don't think Ram protected herself. I think she was more so protecting Ram. And the fact that that's potentially when they're only moments old goes to show just how powerful Ram is, and also the relationship and the love and the bond that those two have. They were together in the womb and they are together now as they are alive, and Ram goes above and beyond to protect Ram, sorry. And in order to do that, Ram needs to be so powerful that she is called a prodigy. It's, I guess, the only reason they aren't killed, because Ram is so good at doing what she does. She is hailed as a prodigy for only having one horn and for being as young as she is. And we did see like other demons using their horns, and those things were huge. They came up to like, if I was to like turn my head like off the screen even, like, and there's two of them, right? Whereas Ram and Ram's horns are tiny, and I don't know if that's because of their age or anything like that, but it's still very interesting. I wonder if the fact that they were born under a blood moon is important. Maybe that blood moon is somewhat related to the power that Ram has, or something like that. Or maybe it's blood moons are related to the birth of demons, potentially. But obviously, you know, they're not going to kill off Ram and Ram because Ram is so powerful. Ram is able to water crops. She's able to do so much. And Ram is just always watching. Ram is unable to do essentially anything. And so she's just always watching her sister, and when she tries to practice using magic, Ram shows up and is like, don't worry, just be yourself. And I think that that's very important, because I feel like it took until late in this episode for those words from Ram to kind of ring true with Ram. They're only really mentioned this once from Ram, where she says, just be yourself, Ram. And that's really, really early in their life, right? They're what, maybe like 5-6 years old, I'm just guessing. They look like they're about that age because they're speaking and stuff. And Ram says to Ram, be yourself. And from then on, Ram doesn't really do that. She's always trying to do things that her sister can't, but she's unable to. She's always failing to be better. Her sister's always better in every sense. So I'll not get ahead of myself, but I will call back to this later in the post-talk analysis. After this scene by the waterfall, we see that Ram asks to make dinner for everyone in the house, and she decides she's going to make dinner with steamed potatoes, nuts from a local tree or something. I can't remember the exact wording, and a rabbit. It was called a something rabbit, but I can't remember what it was called. A Barbaro rabbit. It was a Barbaro rabbit, and she needs to get one of those, and so she goes to make a trap, but it starts to rain, thunder's crashing down, and then we see she is running away, drops her nuts because of the lightning, and a tree on fire is about to fall on top of her, and the rain is not heavy enough to put out the fire. So thankfully, in this situation, Ram was following Rem, and she's able to slice up the tree and protect Rem. This is the first real encounter with fire that they have had, and there are 3 different encounters with fire within this episode alone, and I will try my best to talk about each one of them. But yeah, the nuts are scattered, the basket is broken, and Ram is basically like, hey, you know, I'm here to save you. And they go back, and the mother is like, yeah, don't go into the forest by yourself. Your sister will worry about you. And that calls back to episode 10, when Ram went to rush after Rem when she found out that she was in the forest by herself. And it also kind of calls back then potentially to episode 9, when Ram asked Rem to go with Subaru, because I know that the whole thing right now is about Ram not wanting Rem to be by herself in the forest, but in this situation she didn't want Subaru to be alone in the forest. So I wonder if it's just in general she doesn't want anyone she knows and cares for to be alone in situations like that where they could be in danger, and so she sends the most important person to her sister. And then of course Rem gets compliments for how good the potatoes are, but those compliments don't mean anything. She's still staring down, she's distraught, she's upset, she's very, very sad. And then she has the most awful nightmare where she's hearing all these people telling her she's useless, she will never be as good as her sister, she should have been killed, Ram should have been alone, there should only be one of them, not 2, because Rem will never catch up to her sister, she'll never be good enough. And as she's having those nightmares, she, in her nightmare, feels a hand touching her, looks up and sees her sister, and then she wakes up in that moment and sees that her sister is literally holding her hand, saying, you know, you were having a bad dream, so I held your hand. And they basically then in that situation say they love each other, and it's very sweet because I feel like the love that they have for one another is so deep and so true. And obviously, you know, that they're sisters, they're twins, they have a bond that can never be undone or never be explained or never be replicated through any other relationship, you know, any bond that they might have with anyone else. That's a very special bond. They were born together, they were in the womb together. It's very, very special. So then Rem is like, well, I'm fine, I'm okay with following her. So long as she can follow her sister, who is better than her, Rem is fine with just following. But then, of course, there's another blood moon. I don't know if this blood moon's... I don't know if the blood moons are related to death then, maybe, because they were about to sacrifice the twins, and now the demons have basically been killed. Or maybe the blood moon opens a gate or something to the demon world. I don't know. But, you know, there's so much awful shit happening. There's people... demons dying, there's everyone is basically dead right now, right? And it's just really, really awful. We see them all burning, and Rem doesn't understand what she's seeing, and she's just staring out bug-eyed. And then we see figures that look very, very true to stuff that are real. Obviously in this series they're wearing black, whereas in the real world they would be wearing white. The demons are referred to as a race, so this strikes me as racism. Like, there's no other way to kind of dance around this. This is racism to an extreme extent, and not one that doesn't happen in the real world. Like, it's really awful and really sad, but at the same time, the fact that they showed this, I think, is very eye-opening. That this, I don't know how to say what I'm thinking, but I think it's very important that they show this, right? And I think that the fact that this is what happens, and that Ram, you know, is trying to protect Rem, at all costs here, but something awful happens, and one of the, I'm just going to call them racists because I don't know what else they would be referred to here as, or like, unless they're, you know, demon slayers, you know. Demon slayer. They show up and they cut off Ram's horn, and in that moment Ram is like, oh no, what the hell? But then while I was watching this, funny enough, I thought it was Ram that smiled as her horn was cut off, but it was actually Ram saying it was finally cut off because of me. Yeah, that's curious, because I genuinely thought that in that moment Ram was happy that her horn was cut off. So ignore a lot of what I was saying during the second half of this episode where I was like, no, Ram's happy, she said it was finally gone, blah blah blah. That's not true. That was actually Ram. So when Ram's horn is cut off, I guess it's Ram not feeling as weak or as incompetent, I guess, because now she's the one with the horn and Ram doesn't have one. But in the same situation, it's really, really sad. I wonder then what the deal is with Roswaal showing up. Roswaal obviously shows up, and we don't see it in this episode, but Roswaal obviously shows up and brings the two demon twins back with him to the mansion. They start to work for him, and in that moment as well, we do see someone else, someone blonde with kind of feathery fluffy hair and sharp teeth. The only person I can think of right now with a similar kind of appearance is Felt, but I don't even know if Felt has sharp teeth like that. We only really ever see one tooth with Felt. Like, there's one tooth kind of just peeking out and it's sharp, and she kind of does have little like feathers in her hair perhaps, but I don't know if they're related. But I want to know more about that character. I feel like just showing them in that moment is going to be important. And obviously then a lot of the rest of this episode is Rem feeling insecure and feeling like she is the reason that a lot of the bad stuff has happened to Ram, and she feels the need to atone. So it's very, very sad, and it's very honestly tragic, and we get to see a lot of the insecure side of Rem in this situation and in this episode, and a lot of the, I guess you could call it humanity, like the weakness within Rem, because she's always acting very hard-headed and very stubborn and very strong. And even the fact that she went as far as to kill Subaru twice kind of rings true with that feeling that she needs to be someone she is, and she needs to protect, she needs to do all these things. It's really nice seeing then the moment that Subaru headbutts Rem and it's like, you're an idiot, I'm an idiot, we're all idiots here. And I think that was very funny because yeah, they're all just a bunch of insecure silly billies, you know, like they all have their issues, and instead of talking to one another about that, they just go off and do their own thing. And I think the Subaru brings up a really great point here that, hey, if we talk, if we work together, there's nothing we can't do. There's three of us versus one of us. You know, like we should always trust each other. We should always do things together. And yeah, that point is very great. But at the same time, I feel so bad for Subaru because he's the one character that cannot make use of this point. He cannot talk about his return by death, because if he does, we've seen what happens. And then Subaru has an amazing plan. I loved his plan here. And the thing I love most about this plan right here is that he doesn't even tell them what it is, but Ram immediately trusts him. I feel like Ram has a lot of trust and faith in Subaru at this point, and Rem at this point wasn't exactly there. She's worried, she's unsure, and she's like, but Subaru, what are you going to do? There's nothing you can do. You can't use magic, you can't do this, you can't do that. And Subaru's just like, you don't know my plan, trust me. And Ram's like, yep, we trust you. But at the same time, Ram's very funny in the sense of like, you don't have to tell me twice, and just starts running. And I feel like you can look at that in two ways, where Ram trusts Subaru, but also like Ram's just like, yeah, sure, whatever, you do what you want to do, we're gonna get out of here. So she goes to do that, and Rem is worried. Rem is kind of panicking in a sense about what is going to happen to Subaru. We do see Subaru also making a very funny and cute point where he says, you're the partner for my first date, how could I desert you? And that calls back to a moment earlier like 4 or 5 episodes ago at this point. It feels like we've been in this mansion forever doing this mansion arc, but it hasn't even been that long. It's just been a handful of episodes. But because so much has happened, it calls back to a moment earlier when Subaru asked Emilia out for a date. Emilia asked what that is, and Subaru said it's when two people go out together alone. And Emilia's like, oh, so like what you did with Rem earlier today. And yeah, it's very funny that this is a moment that's called back on, but Rem does not recall it. But at the same time, it is also true because Rem and Subaru going to the forest at night the previous day was technically them going on a date, you know, if you look at it in the sense that it was worded previously. So then we get to see Subaru running into the witch fiends and they're calling him balls. And honestly, at this point, Subaru does have big balls, right? He's got huge balls and he is doing crazy things. He's got a plan, but his plan is bonkers. He's running in there not knowing what's going to happen, and yeah, he faces off against the puppy who transforms into this huge beast, this mega massive beast. And what does Subaru do? He summons the power of the opening, right? When the opening starts playing, there's nothing the main character cannot do. When the opening starts playing during an episode, they get a super buff. Like, it is the biggest buff a character can receive in any anime series ever. And holy shit, I love it when the openings plays in a series like this. I could call out to other series that have done it, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to detract from this moment. I am just going to say that it was done so well here. It was huge, it was massive, and it was so fun. The transformation of that puppy as well went hard. Like, that shit was crazy. And yeah, I love that it still has the big scar in its head. I wonder if that scar is related to anything whatsoever. I'm not actually sure, but obviously Rem is worried and has these flashback moments with seeing Subaru. I wonder if the puppy with the scar in its head is kind of like reminding us of Ram, who doesn't have her horn anymore, because I feel like, isn't that where a horn would normally be? Actually, no, the horn would be on the nose. So yeah, that's not true whatsoever. But still, it's kind of reminiscent of Ram, right? And they see Subaru facing off against this thing by himself. And what does he do? He does the one thing that I was not expecting, but at the same time was so badass, because I was saying in a previous episode, when he was learning magic and stuff, I really expected him to use the magic at some point then. I can't remember what the situation was, but going back, you know, in time to a previous episode, I was theorizing that he would use shamanic magic in a moment, but he doesn't do it. He saves it for now when he has the opening playing, and yeah, he uses it. He stabs the demon in the throat, the witch fiend in the throat, and then he eats the little fruit that restores mana. But sadly, that is not enough, because the witch fiend Algarm, I think they're called, it still pounces on him, but he's able to get away from it by piercing its mouth, I think, with his sword, his broken sword. And just as things are looking bad for Subaru, and I think everyone is thinking like, shit, how's he getting out of this one, we hear the voice of Roswell, the strongest mage, strongest magic user in the kingdom, just saying Ugoa. And yeah, he summons this huge blast of fire. I think fire here is going to be important, because we saw fire previously twice within this episode. Once when Rem was running away from the lightning. Second, when the demons were being slaughtered and the village, town, whatever it was, their home place was destroyed. And thirdly, here now when Roswell appears. So I wonder if, I know I've been saying this a lot, I don't know if we can trust Roswell, all of this stuff. I wonder if we can call back to this moment a little later on, because I wonder if he was part of the ploy to destroy the demons' village. Because showing fire again, being summoned from this one guy, and such a powerful fire as well, it's really just making me question if we can trust him, especially after what we saw earlier in this episode. I wonder if he is somewhat involved in what happened, or probably not, but you know, the fact that he also then showed up and took them in, took in Rem and Ram, it really does leave me with a lot of questions regarding whether we can trust him or not. And then Rem throws herself on top of Ram and says just his name over and over again as Subaru passes out, and he looks up and he sees a familiar ceiling. This time he's in the mansion and it's the next day, so that means he finally made it. He finally made it to the next day. I'm so happy, I'm so glad, and yeah, I'm over the moon that he made it. And what is happening? He feels that someone is holding his hand, and he looks and he sees that Rem is doing that, and he's like, oh, did I hold your hand while I was dreaming? And she's like, no, I wanted to hold your hand because if I was in your situation, I would want the same. And that's calling back to a moment earlier in the episode when we saw that Ram would hold Rem's hand when Rem was having bad dreams. And yeah, she's like, you look like you were in pain, so I just wanted to ease your pain a little. And it's very, very sweet. It's one of the first times we've seen Rem actually be vulnerable and share her thoughts with someone, right? Because up until now, we've seen Rem kind of trying to be strong, trying to have a hard head and everything. And we learned that Roswaal took care of the witch fiends, and that Rem starts to speak about feeling inferior, and she speaks about her inferiority complex, and, you know, if she hadn't been born twins and everything, and kind of just really going over again a lot of what we talked about earlier with the same kind of content. But this time, Subaru is there to comfort her. Subaru is there to be like, you're not here because of me. You're not here because of your sister. You're here because of you. I'm here because of you. And, you know, he really appreciates everything. And he says, I'm glad you were there, and that you're not a replacement, you're so much more than that, and Ram not having a horn is not your fault, and that her not having a horn means that you're gonna have to be her horn, you're gonna have to protect her, you know, you're gonna have to be demons together. And it's just very, very sweet. Then the comment about a demon laughs when you talk about tomorrow's plans, right? And that's a very, very cute and sweet moment, and it's calling back to something that Subaru mentioned way earlier, right? I feel like he talked about this when they were going to the village alone, like what episodes, like 5 or 6 or something like that. And so to see that called back on is very, very sweet, because that's something then that we see a little later on. And the moment where he's basically saying all these things to Rem and making her feel like she is enough, essentially calls back to what Ram said very early in the episode, where she said, just be yourself. And I feel like in this moment, Rem kind of has that light switch moment where she's like, wow, I can just be myself. And she breaks down. She's like, I'm weak, but you're demonically possessed. And she's basically like, thank you, Subaru. And she's so appreciative of all the kind words, and that she's met him, essentially. And I think it's absolutely adorable. I really, really did love it. And it was a very sweet scene and a very well done scene. And the lighting in that scene, as well as Rem's crying, it's very beautiful. It's very angelic. And yeah, I'm so glad that we got to see that. But then we cut straight to a really, really interesting scene with Ram and Roswaal. I don't know what's going on between those two, but it made me a little uncomfortable. He, I guess, restores her mana through like her horn would be, but yeah, the scene made me very uncomfortable. And then yeah, she's like, my everything belongs to you. It's just very, very weird. Roswell's like, I must win the battle for the throne. I will kill the dragon no matter what. And that could have crazy, like huge ramifications for the future of the world if that is to be the case, because yeah, the dragon is sealing away the Witch of Envy. So killing the dragon, if that is his goal, maybe he wants to free the Witch of Envy. Maybe I don't know. I'm just throwing out all these theories as to why I can't trust him. But yeah, I cannot trust Roswaal. And yeah, he's not making it easy to trust. Emilia and Subaru have this adorable scene. She thanks him and he's like, well, I wanted to. She's like, well, I need to make it up to you somehow. So Subaru's like, go on a date with me. He explains what a date is. And she's like, yeah, okay. If that's all you want, of course we can go on a date. And that's basically how the episode ends. And yeah, it was a great episode, and we're going to get to see them go on a date. We're going to see what happens. I hope nothing bad happens, but I feel like something's going to happen, right? And yeah, I'm just hoping for the best, but what a great episode this was. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I'm excited to see where we go from here, because now we are into unknown territory. We're hitting uncharted ground, where we're past that point where we're no longer resetting to 4 days ago, right? We're going into new territory, and I'm so excited to see where we go. Obviously something's going to go wrong and we're going to have to fix it, but here's to figuring out what that'll be and what we'll have to do to fix it. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment. Maybe share this with someone who enjoys ReZero reaction content. And yeah, I hope that you're having a great day today and that you're able to take it easy, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.